All right, let's talk a little bit about food and a bit about shelter. Food is the next important item to be stockpiled. Some things to consider when thinking about food. It should be easily stored, last a long time. It should be easily prepared. It shouldn't spoil over time. It should be something you enjoy. This is really quite important. And it should not contain too much salt. Salt makes you thirsty, and then you're going to utilize more of your water. So food that is easily stored. Stockpiled food is going to be stored for long periods of time. The purpose of this preparedness kit is that you stick it in the corner of your closet or down in the basement, and you forget about it until you need it. You might take some things out of it to go camping, but generally they're in there and you don't even think about it, you don't worry about it until the disaster happens. So food needs to be stored, remain good, not spoiled for fairly long periods of time. It should be compact and durable to conserve space and not require a lot of special care. So big fluffy bags of cereal certainly is cheap and maybe something that you enjoy, but inside your disaster kit, once you start jamming things down in there, you're not going to have cereal anymore, you're going to have crumbs. Crumbs are still good, but you have to be careful, and the containers that they're in need to be somewhat durable so they don't open up and splatter about. Food needs to be easily prepared, so it should not require some sort of significant special preparation. That doesn't mean that it doesn't need to be prepared. Not all of us can live on Slim Jims and dry cereal and chocolate bars. We do require other things, if only for comfort, but it shouldn't require a lot of preparation. It shouldn't require a significant amount of water for this preparation process. The water that you use for preparation of the food needs to be clean water. It needs to be potable water, so that's going to tap into your water supply. If you're going to have rice or pasta, that's going to need to be prepared. You know that you're going to need to have extra water for that preparation. If heating is required, either for heating cans of soup, boiling rice or pasta, make sure that you use a regular stove or a camp stove or heating elements, some of which are provided in the food packets. Don't use charcoal or other heating devices inside the house. This causes a release of carbon monoxide, and this can be fatal. The smoke from these fires inside the house certainly may be enough to drive you outside. But even if that doesn't drive you outside, the carbon monoxide from the burning charcoal or whatever will drive you outside. Now, you can use charcoal in a working fireplace. Absolutely. Certainly you can use that. But a non-vented room, just bringing in a barbecue grill from outside, that's going to kill you. Don't forget to clean the pots and utensils after you're cooking. This is, again, very important. Without adequate cleaning, bacteria is going to grow, and if nothing else, your food is going to taste bad for the next time because of all the gunk left in the pan. And again, it quite possibly will make you sick. Use non-potable water for cleaning and then sterilize with alcohol or some sort of chlorinated water afterwards. So foods that don't spoil. Unfortunately, fresh foods, such as fruits and vegetables, don't last. In a disaster situation, you may have fresh fruits and vegetables in the pantry or in the refrigerator. Use those first. Don't let them go to waste. Foods that you're going to put in your kit should include things like dried fruits, cereal in substantial containers, canned foods, although this can contain a significant amount of salt, which is going to increase your thirst. And unless you like eating cold green beans out of a can, they will require some degree of heating. Rice, pasta, and other grains store very well. So these work well from a storage perspective, but do require some degree of preparation. Dehydrated foods and camp foods, these store incredibly well, and they have come a long way since I was a kid, so they're actually quite tasty and very effective, but they do require water to reconstitute them. Do not eat dehydrated foods without rehydrating it. It will rehydrate in your stomach, and that can make you quite sick. So always rehydrate dehydrated or freeze-dried food before you eat them. So again, we've talked about food, storage and food that lasts a long time, but another important factor with this is you need to have food that you're going to enjoy. This is really, really important. An important fact of the matter is that although going 7 days without food is quite a long time, and I would not recommend it, going a day without food, a day or two without food, is usually not a big deal for most of us. I emphasize most of us. Some people with chronic conditions like diabetes and other things, this is a special consideration. Certainly small children, infants, this is definitely a consideration. But food is not as vital to life as water is. That being said, we are going to be stockpiling food for a period of time. This food is not our normal diet. We're going to get really, really bored with it. 3 days to a week without a lot of variety is potentially a very long time, and we're going to begin to be uncomfortable. If we really, really, really want a bag of chips, we cannot go out and get a bag of chips or chocolate bars or a bottle of beer for that matter. And if we can't have it, that's usually exactly what we want. Our normal routine is disrupted. Comfort foods, as I said earlier, helps us feel significantly better and a bit more normal. It should somewhat meet the other requirements as far as storage, preparation, and low salt, but it should be something that we enjoy. Chocolate is probably one of my favorite things, so chocolate would definitely be within my disaster kit. You need to have things that are going to make you feel comfortable. Chocolate, sweet cereal, something that's going to break the monotony of the food. Twinkies, now there is to some degree of controversy as whether or not the Twinkie factory is going to stay in business, but should it stay in business, Twinkies might be a good choice because they actually last forever. They're going to be here when there's nothing left on Earth but cockroaches and, well, just cockroaches, bacteria, and Twinkies. All right, so let's talk about some prepared options for food. The military has developed these creatures called MREs. MRE stands for Meals Ready to Eat. There are also civilian versions of these. These go back to First and Second World War when they were talking about K-rations, cans of food, and whatever else that were out there. Modern combat food in the field for the military are called Meals Ready to Eat. These are complete meals. They come in a small plastic bag. They're completely sealed. They last for years and years and years. There are also versions of these from other countries. The French version contains a bit of wine. Each country has its own version and its own specialty foods that are common to that country. These MREs have high calorie content. So for the normal person, 1 MRE a day is more than sufficient to keep a person alive and well fed. 2 MREs and you're going to start to gain weight. MREs have a very, very high caloric content. There's a lot of variety in the main courses and snacks in the different packs that come with it. Everything from vegetarian to meat to Mexican to Italian to meat and potatoes. Lots of different varieties are out there. These store and last for years and years and years with no special treatment. I have a couple of cases in my garage. They've been there, 10 years or so, and they're still good and quite edible. They've not deteriorated at all. Inside each plastic bag or each packet is a little heater pack that if you put a few drops of water in and put the entree down inside, set it aside, the entree will heat up. I have to tell you from personal experience that most of the time I just eat them cold. They taste about the same, hot or cold, at least to me. It is, after all, a survival situation. So if it makes that cigar that I smoke after I eat a little bit more enjoyable, knowing that I didn't quite enjoy dinner so much, that's okay. A lot of people actually think MREs are quite tasty. We've made fun of these things over the years, but they have improved and become quite good. A bit of comment about this and a bit of concern about this is that these are low residue foods. So they have a high caloric intake with low residue. This means, basically, you don't poop much. If you eat MREs over and over again for several days, you're going to get constipated. Inside the American version of MREs are little white chiclets. These are sugar-free gum, which means they contain sorbitol or some other artificial sweetener in it. And the main purpose of these is to actually keep you regular. Sorbitol has that effect on people. As a matter of fact, in Haiti, when the population had been on MREs for about 2 weeks, they started presenting with constipation. And we fed them handfuls of these chiclets to treat that constipation. Besides MREs, there's other options out there. There's camp meals, heater meals, dehydrated meals packs, freeze-dried meal packs. All of these things are available. You can buy them individually. You can buy them in chunks, 7 days worth or a month's worth. And all of them are pretty good and certainly will take care of your nutritional needs.